date, the 10th of Shvat, marks the Hilula of a really famous Tunisian rabbi. His name was Rabbi Yosef Mazuz Z'tl. I believe he passed away on the 10th of Shvat in English year 1944. We're talking approximately about 81 years ago. From time of recording, here we are in 2025. He was a great rabbi. He came from great rabbinic auspices. His father's name was Rav Rachamim Mazuz, and his mother's name was Rabbanit Amima. I think she actually herself came from the famous Tunisian rabbinic family of the Haddad family, who we've spoken about, I believe, on various occasions before, I believe. And I believe he was born in Jerba towards the late 1800s in of itself. Now, he would learn Torah under his father's auspices, Rabbi Rachamim Mazuz. I believe we actually covered a video on Rabbi Rachamim, if I'm not mistaken. He was the author of the famous book called the Kiseh Rachamim. I think it was a book on Tehillim, and it's quite notable. The famous Tunisian yeshiva in Israel currently is called the Kiseh Rachamim Yeshiva, which is currently headed by Rav Meir Mazuz. So I wonder if that, I'm not 100% sure if that was actually connected, this name, to the current yeshiva. But in itself, this name, Kiseh Rachamim, very much associates with greatness in Torah, authorship, and within regards to yeshivot and great rabbanim. And he would learn Torah at great Yirat Shamayim in of itself, and was under the great rabbis of Jerba in that period of time. There was many great rabbis who talked about Jerba, the great rabbis there. It was galaxy of Torah foundation, especially in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Now, I believe, sadly, his father passed away in the year 1908, and it was, I think, difficulty within regards to the financial situation in those vicinities in of itself. And he would be learning also throughout. He would go embark on journeys. I mean, also because of the financial situation. He would get married, I believe, in the year 1919 to, I believe, his wife's name was Shalivia, or Shalvia. I hope I pronounced that correctly. She came from the family of Bitan, the Bitan, great family in of itself. I believe it was reported over they would have 5 children. And what's interesting also, Rabbi Yosef Mazuz will really delve into the highest levels of Torah, and very much, while he wouldn't just rely on his financial situation dependent on earning a livelihood from the Torah in of itself, he would make sure that he would make money from other means also in of itself. But as we stated before, this was he had to actually travel, I think, as far as Tunis. I think that was capital city of Tunisia, to make a parnasa in of itself. But he would also really, really be worried with regards to the chinuch of his family in of itself. Remember, the Mazuz family was a great rabbinic dynasty in of its age, which we've spoken about on various occasions before. And he would return to Jerba and provide education for his son and become Rabbi Yonatan Mazuz. He would write a book, a very famous book, which was called the Yosef Chaim, a book we've spoken about on various occasions before. This book, the Yosef Chaim, was a famous book, or the Xukei Chaim, let's just say. The Yosef Chaim was a פירוש on the famous book called the Xukei Chaim, which was from the chief rabbi at the time, Rabbi Chaim Palaji. He was one of the famous Turkish rabbis in Jewish history. And I think he was also very accustomed to learn and to teach the Chok Israel, especially every single day in of itself. He write a book, I think, based on Bereshit and Shemot, on the Exodus and the Genesis in of itself, and it will be printed, I think, in publication. I think, sadly, in the year 1939, he would suffer from illness, hashachafat, as they call it. I think they call that in English the illness called the tuberculosis, and it was very, very difficult and painful. But I believe he passed away on, I think it was the 10th of Shvat, if I'm not mistaken, in the year 1944. It was, that's what I believe it was reported over. He would be buried in the city of Tunis. And it's actually interesting, I think 10 years later, or 12 years later, his family would actually emigrate to the land of Israel and settle in Sfat. And I think at the same time, he wrote, as we said, many different manuscripts, so they would bring that also with him. I think part of it might have been lost during the time period while they were traveling. I believe in 2012, Rabbi Yonatan Mazuz, his son, would complete his father's work and have it published in Sfat. And I believe the name of this Torah, great book in of itself, was, I'll just check the name, I believe it was called, this חיבור in of itself, yeah, so it was, it would come out in Sfat, and I believe, I'll have to just double check the name within regards to that. But I believe in the year 2015, they would actually move his bones and have a burial in Tzfat, which naturally Tzfat is one of the 4 holy cities of Israel. along with obviously Tiberias, Jerusalem, and Hebron, respectively. Rabbi Yonatan Mazuz will bring this great Torah book, and it will be published in the year 2012, 13 years ago from the time of recording. Don't forget to light candles in the great rabbi's memory. We're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesterday. We've already covered maybe about 7 or 8 videos from the famous rabbinic family of Mazuz, family in of itself. If you happen to be related to any of the great Chachamim, please send me an email. And if you feel anyone else will be interested in videos, share the videos to other people. Also, wishing you Shabbat Shalom. I'm recording this just for Shabbat Shira, Parshat B'Shalach here in Israel. Take care and be well, everyone.